and good morning guys. Welcome to the Pole Shift News. Our magnetosphere sensor, I know it was a little bit early, but I thought I'd pop the SD card out a day earlier and just to have a look at what the data's doing, and the SD card was completely blank. There was nothing in there. I mean, it's absolutely sickening. What I've done here is a very simple mistake, but it's cost us 30 days of collecting data, and I'm just disappointed. I mean, I thought at first the SD card was broke, or I've been checking, as you can see on the laptop. I've checked the magnetosphere sensors working, the program's exactly doing what it's supposed to do, and we can see that when we calibrated it at 200, we can see that the magnetosphere has actually increased by 1.5 microteslas over the last 30 days, but we don't know what it's done within those 30 days, and that's what the idea of recording every 15 minutes was supposed to do. But the problem was, as I've been trying to debug the problem, I've found that what it needed was a reset every time the SD card was repositioned back into the slot. So every time we reset every time we put the SD card back in, we have to press this little red button here to reset the whole thing. Otherwise it doesn't record anything at all onto the SD card. So there's nothing wrong with the magnetosphere sensor, which is tucked away just there in the corner. You can just see it very at the side of the data logger. I can just put that on the side, which is this little board here in the side there, which is connected to the data logger and the computer breakout board at the bottom. So basically what I've done is I've just marked where I need to put the reset button in the top. I'm going to put that reset button back in there, and I'm not going to leave it this time 30 days before we collect the data. I'm going to do it within 7 days, just to eliminate this problem again, and then I might extend it to the 30-day collection points. It's just frustrating. On the cloud generator, as you can see, there's been a little bit of a change here. If I just switch this on, just bear with me. I've been having a few problems with this, which we're trying to sort out. You can see I've put a fan on the back of the block and on the front of the block, so it's drawing the air right the way through now. And we'll put a probe test on that. It should be room temperature or thereabouts. Now it's going down, so at -1 already. Just leave that running for a little bit. But you can see I've put a voltage regulator on there, so I can control the speed of the fans that are running at the front and back of the cooling block. Remember, there's 3 Peltier elements there. This on the top here is just grease. But what I found is when I'm getting this down to about -30. We did have better results last week, and what I've been trying to do is just trial and error. I'm trying to isolate the heat from the rest of the block, and we've got this polystyrene insulation on the top around the Peltiers. But when we put this plate on there, it drastically reduces the temperature loss. So when we put the plate on, it's only going down to about -12 as opposed to -30, and we need a environment when we put this chamber on. We need an environment inside there, at least on the bottom anyhow, of around 26 degrees minus. And the reason for that is because alcohol condensates at that temperature, and that's what we ideally need around the base. So what I've been doing, I've been having a chat with a few people who work with CPUs on computers, and they're saying polish the block, clean all the laminates of the Peltiers, polish this plate, and it should improve. Failing that, go for a better quality thermal grease. You can buy these thermal greases which contain almost a high content of silver. So failing that, we'll try that. But you can see it's all gone onto the casing now. It's getting a little bit more compact. I've got the out voltage for the LEDs. We've got the whole system now just running off one lead as opposed to having it connected up to the power supply over here. You know, we've got it all, you know, self-supporting. It's 12 volts, it's 5 volts and it's 3 volts, and we're also reducing the voltage here just to control the speeds of the fan on the front and back of the heatsink block. I don't know if you can see it just tucked away at the back of the fan. There's actually 2 heat sinks. There's one on the bottom and then there's one on the top, and you know, it does its job. I mean, at the moment it should be, I don't know, I think we should be getting down to those temperatures that we're after. You know, we're at minus 31 at the moment. Now that would be perfect if we could get that temperature with this plate on top of the Peltier, but because the Peltier is smaller than the actual plate, it's having to disperse the heat around it. Now, through doing some experiments with this, I've found that, you know, putting all this silver ducting tape all the way around to stop the heat coming back up off the fans at least does help it. I mean, we're at a temperature already where, you know, the atmosphere is condensing onto air. So, you know, the Peltier is getting definitely to the temperature we want, and even better, if we can just get that plate on there to do the same, you know, we'll have a result. We can put it together then and we can test it to see whether we get some, you know, alcohol condensation, this stuff there, condensating in the bottom of the chamber. And if that's the case, then it's just a case of painting this plate black, putting the LEDs around the base so that it illuminates the trace of the subatomic particles as they go through the chamber. But you know, what a disappointment. I mean, it made me sick, guys. You know, I've waited patiently now for 30 days for this magnetosphere sensor to deliver some results, not knowing that it needed to be reset like the other one over there. You know, our trimagnetometer station, it has to be reset every time you insert the SD card in. So, you know, I should have known better really, and done the same with this one. But there you go. You know, this is all about experimental and trial and error, and you learn by your mistakes, I suppose. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to integrate a reset button on the front of this, so that when we do mount it back in its environment over there on the other side of the room, it should be collecting data. Just disappointing, isn't it? You know, I mean, I've had to, you know, check the program, go over that, you know, check the SD card is recording, and you know, the final results and the error was just that. You know, it needed a reset button. So guys, you know, I'll leave you here, and you know, I dare say I'll make another update over the next few days, maybe, with some information relating to the website. You know, I want to thank those guys that have supported the channel, and you know, if I can encourage a few of you other guys out there to support it, you know, we can get a bit more done and improve things even better. I know I'm having some good results from a few of you people that are going on the website regularly, saying it's a great website. You know, there's plenty of data if you're interested in all these earth related topics, you know, volcanoes, earthquakes, sea ice extent, you know, and there's just your weather charts as well as space weather, trimag data, which there will be another entry of trimag data going onto the website later on as well. We're just trying to do as much as we can, and you know, be of service to you guys out there that are interested in all these things. And at the same time, I suppose, you know, just experiment with things like this cloud chamber, you know, because I think it's all interesting, and you know, we can actually see these background subatomic particles, you know, speeding by, and if we're lucky, we might even get an opportunity to get quite a bit of condensation. We might get a good opportunity to see, you know, a collision of these subatomic particles, and that would be a result in itself. So I'm going to leave the video here, guys, and wish you all the best for the rest of the week, and just remind you again that this is the time, guys, to support the channel if you want, and the link's down there to do that. and I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.